Hello again, it's story time. And do you know, we've had somebody come to see us from the library, a little visitor. And do you think you might know who it is? Do you think you might know? You sure? Yes, it's Quacky the duck. Quacky the duck. But Quacky has lost her quack, so she'll have to lay down very quietly and stay asleep. I'm going to tell you a story today, uh, and it's about a man who has a doggy. You like stories about doggies? Stories about doggies. Woof, 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 woof. Sit quietly, sit quietly. Right. Here's the story. It's about Sebastian Scales and his dog, who's called Timmy. And every time we say Timmy the dog, we've got to go woof. So here's the story. Starts the same way all good stories start. Once upon a time, there was a very nice man called Sebastian Scales, who lived at the seaside with Timmy the dog, woof, who was very friendly. Sebastian Scales was a poor man and always wished he could afford to live in a big house on the top of the cliffs. Every morning they went for a walk on the beach, and on the way they filled a bottle with water from the magic spring near the church. Sebastian Scales didn't really think it was magic, he just liked the taste. And so did Timmy the dog, woof. Anyway, one day Sebastian Scales and Timmy the dog, woof, were walking on the beach toward the Filey brig. As they got closer, they saw there was a ship on the end of the rocks. It was a very strange ship. The wood was a shiny dark green and the big sail was bright yellow. There was a picture of a dragon on the sail, and the front part of the ship was carved like a dragon's head. Timmy the dog, woof, was a bit nervous, but Sebastian Scales wanted to see more. And as they reached the rocks where the ship was tied up, they saw about a dozen men, all dressed in leather and furs. One man was lying on a pile of furs in the middle of the deck, with the others standing around him. Sebastian thought he was probably the leader, because his clothes had shiny bits on. This leader looked very poorly, and his face was a dreadful greeny grey colour. He was holding a bowl in his hands, a dirty-looking bowl with knobbly bits on. He pointed to Sebastian's water bottle and then to his own bowl. Sebastian guessed what he meant and poured some water from his bottle into the leader's bowl. The leader drank the water down in one big gulp and looked a bit surprised, gave an enormous burp, then another burp, then another burp. With each burp, his face stopped looking so greeny grey and ended up nice and pink like it should be. Then he smiled, and all the other sailors shouted, "Hooray!" Then the leader stood up and shook Sebastian's hand and patted Timmy's head. Woof! He gave Sebastian the old knobbly bowl that he'd drunk out of, and found a length of chain in the bottom of the ship, which he wrapped around Timmy's neck, woof, as a collar. As Sebastian and Timmy, woof, walked back along the sands, they thought that perhaps the spring water was magic. It seemed to have made that strange sailor better. When he got back home, Sebastian started to clean the knobbly bowl that he had been given and Timmy's new chain. As he cleaned them, he noticed that they were changing colour from a dirty brown to a light brown, and then to a yellow. And the knobbly bits on the bowl were starting to show reds and blues and greens. When he'd finished all the cleaning, he sat back, looking at the bowl made of gold and covered in jewels, for that is what it was. He said to Timmy, "Woof, well, I think I'm a rich man now, and I can buy a house, a big house on the top of the cliffs." And Timmy the dog, "Woof," said, "and because I now have a super gold collar, I can come and live with you." And they all lived happily ever after. The end. Was that a nice little story? Well, we've a bit of time left, so let's do a bit of, let's think. Let's do some counting. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once I caught a fish alive. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then I let him go again. Why did you let him go? Because he bit my finger so. Which finger did he bite? This little finger on the right. Let's do it one more time. Ready? Off we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once I caught a fish alive. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then I threw him back again. Why did you let him go? Because he bit my finger so. Which finger did he bite? This little finger on the right. See you next time. Bye.